Let's put together a safety pouch for people, especially the homeless, to safe keep their personal documents and money. It goes around your neck, and you can put it inside your shirt for safekeeping, so therefore nobody can see it, let alone try to snatch it or do a pickpocket. Let's start with some fabric. We're going to cut a piece that is about 24 inches long and about 6 inches wide. It should be fairly heavy fabric, as it's going to undergo a lot of wear and putting things into it. So here we have the fabric. We've got a measuring stick. I use a rotary cutter instead of a pair of scissors. That makes it faster and more precise to do the cutting. Again, it does not have to be exact. I figure 6 inches is an optimal width. By the time you do the edges and put the binding on the edges, you can have about 5 minutes of width, inside width, for the packet itself. Here we go. We got a piece. Let's make sure we got it properly cut. Sometimes with the rotary cutter, it may not cut all the way through if you don't hold it right. And I'll try to do this in a hurry. So let's see, got that done. And now we're done. And we'll trim it. And we should be all set. Now, after cutting it, next I will use a serger that overlocks the edge of the fabric. I'm going to serge the ends of the piece of fabric. The sides we don't have to worry about, but those will be covered by the bindings. However, the ends will be exposed. You may, if you don't have a serger, you can probably do it with the zigzag on a regular sewing machine. Now let's head to the sewing machine. First things first, we fold the ends over to form a hem at each end, because the hem is folded away from the good side of the fabric. Do this to both of the ends, but those will be exposed. Just to remind you that the sides will not be exposed. Next, we're going to take some Velcro and we cut about a 2-inch length of both the hook and the string side. 2 pieces of Velcro. Those are going to be to keep the patch or packet closed. We put one on the inside of the packet, which is the quote wrong side of the fabric, and this is also the side where the hems are sewn to, knot away. So that's the inside of the pocket I'm sewing right now. I'll turn it around and then make sure to turn it over before you put the other piece of Velcro on. There we go. Turn it around and we turn it over to the good side, and this is the side from which the hem is folded away from. We do the same. And now, with these done, we can now keep the packet closed. Next step after sewing the Velcro is to actually fold the packet together, making sure that the flip side sticks out from under the front side. The two Velcros, when you fold the flip side over, they will match. So that's the right placement of the overall packet. Then what we'll do is to fold the bottom over like this to form another pocket. There's really two pockets. One pocket, the main pocket that can be closed, and one smaller pocket on the outside, perhaps a place where one can place their coins or money. So we stitch the sides closed carefully to make sure we include all the sides and the pieces up to the top of the front piece, or the hem of the main piece. We don't have to include doing anything on the top piece or the flap piece, but that's going to be covered by the binding that we're going to put on later on. Now we're going to add the binding to the two sides. This is binding tape. It's no adhesive that has to be folded over the edge and then sewn onto the edge by maybe about, this is 1.5 inch binding, so maybe about 3/8 of an inch from the side as it is folded over, as I'm doing now. So I fold it over the entire side of the packet, including the flap piece. So it covers the entireties of the sides which are not serged or protected. So this prevents them from fraying and adds a distinctive look to the pouch. Once we do one side, we're going to turn it around, and then repeat on the other side. Now you can see that the binding will include the flap part of it. You can see it's the very end, or top end of the pouch. The top end of the pouch is what you see on the far left where my hands are now. Once I get started there, then I would then proceed to the bottom of the pouch for that side. At that point, we'll have bindings on both sides which protects the unfinished edges. Therefore, the complete packet should not fray, since the two top pieces are hemmed and the bottom is just folded over. After trimming the edges, let's put together the lanyard. The lanyard is the strap that goes around your neck and supports the packet on your chest. I use the same binding fabric that I use for the edges for the lanyard itself. The long edges of the lanyard are treated such that they will not fray. That's the whole point of having a binding fabric. All I'm doing is stitching the open ends together to form the side of the lanyard. So it's a double layer of the binding fabric. And the lanyard I have about 2 to 2.5 feet long, enough to go over your head. So here we have the lanyard. I'm going to cut it off. Now the placement of the lanyard, you have to be careful. You want to have it so that the flap can still go down. So note the edge of the main body where my hands are now. I'm going to turn it over and note where you can feel that hem of the main body. You want to attach the lanyard above, actually below the flap. You want to attach to the main body of the packet, but not the flap. The flap has to be able to bend over. So right on the hem of the main body, you stitch it across like that to attach it. Then you pivot the piece and then stitch down the length of that small piece of the lanyard to the side of the binding, I can see. Then once you do that, then you do the other side once again, making sure you know where the hem is for the main body. You stitch the lanyard to the hem, but not above it. The area above it has to be kept clear so the flap can still be engaged with the lanyard in place. Something like that. Go across, then pivot, and go downstream on the lanyard, attaching it to the binding. Now, that should be it. Now, as you can see, you can flip the flap piece down, and it's not part of the lanyard. The lanyard would not push it back up. So I think that's pretty much it. That's the main pocket right there. Then you have the little pocket on the bottom. So that's pretty much it. We're done and we're ready to go. And as with all other videos, I love you all from deep within my heart. Goodbye.